ladies and gentlemen, so welcome to our May horoscope. Yes, I know I'm pretty late to the party, but I was busy. I was traveling, and because of my travel and work, I just couldn't get to it. But finally, I am here. Let's talk about May. So, obviously, since I missed the first, literally 10 days, we're gonna start from today all the way till 30th as to what in the world is happening. Okay, so from here all the way to 31st. So as you know right now, okay, and I'm gonna take this, remember, I don't spoon feed anybody. I don't go through what Aries people are gonna go through May, and Taurus people or Gemini people or Cancer people. That's spoon feeding, because you're supposed to know astrology. You're supposed to know the heavens that you look at every day. When you get out at night, when you get out in the daytime and you see the sun, moon, and the stars, that's your very first learning lessons. That's your very first curiosity towards learning. What is that? Why are they here? What are they doing? Are they affecting me versus everything else? If sun and moon are affecting plants, trees, season, who are you not to be affected? You're not God. You're part of nature. So I give you enough to understand. I take you to the lake and I give you the fishing rod, I give you the worm, but you have to sit there, be patient, and wait for the fish to come. So that's what this channel is about. Very different than any other transit channel you'll see. So here, right now, obviously, Sun and Mercury are in the sign of Aries. Okay, Rahu's in the 5th house in Leo, Ketu, the south node is in Aquarius. Saturn is in Sagittarius, Jupiter is in Virgo, Mars is in the sign of Taurus, and Venus is at exactly 12 degrees in Pisces. So this is actually sidereal calculation, sidereal ayanamsha, which I use, known as Lahare sidereal ayanamsha. Okay. So what's happening, first of all, right now is that both Jupiter and Saturn are still retrograde. And because Sun now is at its point of transition, because on 15th of May, it's going to transition into Aries. So right now till month of May, obviously there's tremendous amount of confidence that we are trying to display to other people. Like, remember, this is the time period in May when it gets warm. This is the start of the summer. Why is that? Because Sun is now at its highest peak of exaltation, that yes, I'm exalted. Why do you think people feel like, oh, let's go to the beach? Finally, the beach is here. Finally, I can get out. Finally, I can just be myself and not be shivered into my home because of the snow and the cold. So naturally, this brings about this confidence within us. We see the bright sun. We see the bright, light hitting the trees and the lake, and we just feel good internally. That's what exaltation means. It's not really more so about confidence. It's not about having the ego and confidence and displaying, your high self-esteem. No, Saturn exalted feels comfortable and happy with its surroundings, wherever it is. And this is why at most parts on this earth, May is the time period to start of the summer, the start of the heat, the warmth of the sun. So that is happening, but then it's going to be moving by the end into the sign of Taurus. So now that we have felt this brightness, we feel good. We're like, all right, let's move. Let's go to vacation like I did. Let's go to business trip like I did. Now it's also time to start valuing things that are very near to you. This is why during this summertime, what happens? Most people go back home to families. Cousins and families come together. You meet up with your friends. Why? Because Taurus is the original 2nd house. So transiting of Sun, the original Atmakarka, the significator of the soul, is going to be transiting into the sign of Taurus, not Sagittarius, sign of Taurus by middle of this May. Because in Vedic system, Sun changes sign towards the middle of a month, not towards the end, like 23rd, even though that's not the end, but still is different from here. So that's what Sun does whenever it's in Aries and transiting into Taurus. We are feeling good enough to now value what we have grown up with. Sun wants to make us feel comfortable. We want the nice food. We want, the ambience of our family members. And then, right now, also Venus is exalted in the 12th house, directly opposite to Jupiter. Excellent, excellent period for expansion of love, creativity, companionship, and knowledge, especially knowledge. Mutual aspect of Venus and Jupiter makes us feel good about learning knowledge. That's what it is. That's the most simple thing you can know. More so than love, there's love for knowledge. There's love for understanding. There's love for knowing. Why? Because in astrology and out there in the cosmos, Jupiter and Venus are teachers. They are gurus. Jupiter is the guru of the Devas. Venus is the guru of the Asuras, Shukracharya. Now, people think Asura and Devas as God and devil, demon and angels. Angels and demons, right? Absolutely wrong. You're so wrong. You have no idea. Asuras are simply, okay, the best example I can give you of Asuras that Venus controls. I don't know if you guys have watched Lord of the Rings, the great movie written by J.R.R. Tolkien. In that movie, there were 5-6 different types of breeds of humans. They were the humans itself. Then there were the elves. They were the halflings. What do they call them? The Shire people. God, how can I forget that? Hobbits. And then there were dwarfs, which continued with the movie. They just made the movie. What is that movie? I don't even know, because I didn't even care for that movie. It was by J.K. Rowling. God, I'm like forgetting so many things. See, happiness brain makes you forget things. What is that? The Hobbit. Yeah, The Hobbit, the movie. So that's what we see. The 5 different types of human beings. So Devas, you can look at it as elves. The tall, beautiful beings with the long hair and all mystical, and they can be killed or they live long life. But then they're dwarfs. They're all about their gold and riches, and they're all about mining, and they're all about doing things. But both of them are not good and neither bad, because there were some bad elves, there were some bad dwarfs. That's what this Sura and Asura is. Like Devas and Asuras. Devas are simply these people who want to give themselves to the higher consciousness, to the higher and divine. Asuras are like, look, we are here on this plane. We are here on this plane called Earth. We want to do something here. What should we do? Well, let's build things. Let's build houses. Let's build bridges. Let's build high-risers, planes, communication system, Wi-Fi system, computers, movies and electricity and cameras. These are Asuras. So don't think of them as bad. People say, oh, you're like Rahu, you're an Asura. Okay, so what are you trying to tell me? Tell me what an Asura is. So now, because this Jupiter and Venus are both looking at each other, shows there's this innovation of knowledge, an innovation of knowing. There's this, the Devas are now interacting with the Asura. They're like, okay, you can have my knowledge. We will have your knowledge. Let's create something beautiful. And in a way, this can also create Saraswati Yoga, like with the conjunction of benefic planets or mutual aspect of benefic planets, creates a great creative alignment, because that mutual aspect is just as strong as the conjunction. Either you're looking at each other or you're standing by with somebody else. So this is a great period for that. And obviously Saturn currently is in Sagittarius, okay? And it's trining Sun, meaning our happiness and our confidence is being supported by the hard work that we are doing. Whenever Saturn is trying to any planet, it will say, you will love working. You will absolutely love hard working. If Saturn is square to something, you will not love hard working. Like, let's say right now, Saturn is square, meaning Kendra, fourth from first, fourth, seventh, and 10th from something. Saturn is squaring Venus. Venus is fourth from Saturn. That means that we feel that we have to put in effort in order to deal with our relationships, deal with our emotions, are for love and romance. We are happy, we are high, it's exalted because we want to learn, we want to know. That's what Venus is, devotion to knowledge. But because Saturn is squaring Venus and Venus is squaring Saturn, we feel that, okay, it's also our obligation and our responsibility to understand love. We gotta grind and you know, like, make our relationships work at the same time. We can't just ignore things. So right now you will find that challenge even with exalted Venus. The love is there, but there's also going to be friction. But hey, you're not giving enough time to us. You're not being responsible to our relationships. But because of Jupiter aspect on Venus, it kind of like nullifies that to a point where you feel it, but it's not so strong. But again, Jupiter being retrograde right now, again, our value system, what we value, because Jupiter is our value, our knowledge, our divine, our devotion to a guru, you know, that is being questioned right now. We may be criticizing gurus, maybe we criticizing our teachers, or our teachers might be criticizing us. Our teachers might be nitpicking us because there's something that needs to be perfected with the retrograde. And remember, when a planet is retrograde, it's not giving results of the sign before it. It's giving the results of the sign directly opposite to it, which is Pisces. So we're criticizing our spiritual guru, or a spiritual guru will try to find and perfect something within us. We become too detail oriented about our spiritual knowledge, spiritual beliefs. Why am I following this? Okay, what is the hardcore reason for me to follow this? Why am I listening to you on YouTube? What is the reason behind it? Give me some logic here. I don't want to hear that BS. Give me some logic. So we become quite critical of knowledge. So whether it's me giving you knowledge or me attaining knowledge from other people, you attaining knowledge from someone else, we're questioning that, which is not a right thing to do, because knowledge just flows like a river. You shouldn't question it. You shouldn't stop it. When Jupiter is retrograde, a guru will say, no, you can't share this knowledge. No, don't do this with this knowledge. No, you cannot learn this knowledge. Where an exalted Jupiter, let's say, if it's not retrograde, or let's say even in Virgo, if Jupiter is not retrograde, the things will be flowing. The criticism will be there, but there won't be stopping of it. That why are you doing this? You'll just be critically looking at everything, but yet moving forward. And obviously Rahu is also trining Sun and Mercury along with Saturn. So remember that the tripod that, you know, that the camera stands on, it's a support system, right? The tripod doesn't have 4 legs. Tripod has 3. So Rahu being fifth from Sun naturally shows our explosion towards our creative self-expression. Like now we feel so happy because of this nice weather. We feel so good with it because this warm summer is coming. That because Rahu is trining Sun, we want to do something creative. We want to join some art classes, some music classes, take some photography lessons, something artistic, creative. Maybe sing, maybe play some music. And this is literally, you can say, the entire generational people will be feeling this. Some may have a lot of decrease into understanding this. Maybe you'll feel 10% of this. Why? You could be going through a bad dasha. You could be going through a sadhisati. You could be going through dhaya. You could be going through certain charadasha that is bringing a lot of anxiety within you. So as much as this is bursting out of you, you're not able to do it. But most of the people right now over the world, all over the globe, are in this mood to express. This is why do you think, and I'm not even talking about this Rahu trine, why do you think movies come out in summer? Why do we give summers off in school? Because this is the period where sun is at its warmest, highest, brightest. And what is sun? Creativity. Because it originally rules the sign of Leo in a birth chart. And then Mars is in Taurus right now. And see, I'm looking at my software right now as I'm speaking to you. So that's why So by the end of this month, obviously Mars will still be in the sign of Taurus. Oh, I'm sorry, not sign of Taurus. It will be in sign of Gemini. So it'll be moving from Taurus to Gemini. Okay. Mars actually does quite well in Taurus. It likes to hoard things. It likes to accumulate things because a soldier always has to travel. A soldier always has to move. When it's in the sign of Taurus, what is it doing? It's hoarding things. It's collecting things. It's very good at collecting things. I need this money. The flow of values, the flow of energies, the flow of money becomes very active. This is why also you will see whenever Mars enters in Taurus, most of the hiring takes place. Anywhere in job, when you go look for a job, do you look for a job in December? No, that's the end of the year. A company doesn't want to hire it unless it's absolutely desperate because it lost like a couple of people who quit. In beginning of January, you're pretty much collecting what your budget is for this year. What can you do? Do we need anybody? But now is the time you're like, all right, let's hire somebody for this, this, and this. Whenever Mars turns into Taurus, is actually a great period to look for a job because the flow of money is coming in everywhere. If it's not coming in your chart, don't blame Mars and Taurus and don't think this is wrong. It's probably because what you're going through. But the thing is, your value of Mars going into the sign of Taurus is going to activate whichever house it rules in your birth chart. See, I'm just looking at everything from the sign perspective. I'm not even talking about ascendants. Mars is in Taurus. I didn't say it's a third house, fourth house, fifth house. Mars is in the fifth house in Taurus. You're going to value sports more than money. You're going to be all about watching sports. You're going to be all about, taking chances, doing creative things, dealing with your children, being competitive with your children. That's your value system right now. That's what you're collecting, the value of competition. But in the end, Mars will then move into the sign of Gemini by end of this month, which means our communication is going to be the most aggressive point. We will concentrate on our skills. We're going to want to hone our skills of hands. Why? Gemini is our skills of hands. Gemini represents our communicative ability, our talking ability. We're going to be very impatient with our communication. We want to get information now with Mars and Gemini. We don't want to wait. And we become aggressive. Whichever house that Mars is in your chart becomes aggressive. And all this, and I forgot to tell you, if you do not know what sign these planets are transiting in your horoscope, for that, check out the links here and check out my full astrological report, where pretty much on the second page, you will see what your ascendant is, what your planetary placements are, along with all the details that you'll ever need in your horoscope. So check out the links here, including for my readings and consultations. And then you also see Venus, Mercury coming in the sign of Aries together. And Sun is obviously going to be in Taurus. So Venus, Mercury conjunction, especially in Aries, very creative placement, very active placement. Like people want to exercise and jog and do dancing, do creative things. We become impulsive towards love. Whenever Venus comes in Aries, remember, most people go on to dating sites. Most people want to look for a relationship if they're single because look, it is summer. Sun is bright. Sun is brightening every single aspect of our life. So what is one of the most important aspects of a human life? Our interaction with the opposite. I need a relationship. In winter, you're more about just being at home. I don't want to get out. I don't want to go out, whatever. I'm more focusing towards my work, and Christmas is coming and Diwali is coming. But now, Venus in Aries, especially with Mercury, it's like we want quick love now. We want to have some romantic interaction. You can even have one-night stands with this. Venus-Mercury conjunction makes a person so sensual. It's unbelievable. So romantic, it's unbelievable. But in Aries, it's impulsive. Like, oh, I found you. All right, let's do something. Let's go out. Let's have a party. You don't even know that person. You don't even know what they're like. You just want to impulsively jump into those things. Okay. And obviously then Rahu, Ketu will square Moon. Okay. Square Moon and Sun both. And this is where we will feel the karmic patterns of our value system. We will have to deal with our karma, our past karmas and our future karmas through the things that we value in this life, because Sun is going to be in Taurus. Moon is moving too quick. So obviously I'm not going to concentrate on moon. It's going to be out in 2.5. That's why I don't talk about moon and Mercury as much. They move very quickly. But I believe in Western terms, you can call Saturn is quincux to the sun, or Saturn is 8th from the sun. This is where we deal with our psychological baggages. This is where our responsibility, duty, and commitment comes to our most innate fear. Things that we are afraid of, things that, oh, wow, how do I deal with that? Well, you deal with that. That's how you grow as a human being. So whenever you hear this term, oh, Saturn is 8th from your sun, transiting, what does that mean? It simply means you have to face, your fears. You have to face your dogmatic psychological issues in this life so you can defeat them and move on. You cannot grow without the 8th house. 8th house is transformation and changes, like Rahu and Ketu. That change is coming. Change is coming through responsibilities and our psychological issues, because remember, Rahu, Ketu are squaring to sun, responsibilities of our karmas, and to grow through it by transformation and changes. This also shows if you're dealing with your father, most definitely you are going to have a very serious conversation with your father. Father may want to bring up something in your life that you don't want to really discuss. If you're a teenager, father wants to talk about military school. Father wants to talk about, so what are you going to do for your career? Because I'm giving you a year, otherwise you'll have to get out of this house. Those issues come up is because sun is authority, the father. There's responsibilities that are given to the higher kingship, and you have to deal with the responsibility. Whether you fight with it or not, you resist it or not, but that responsibility comes in. Okay. So this is my little perspective for the May. Hopefully it was helpful. But remember, look at it from your ascendant, look at it from your moon sign. Transits can be just from two different ways, ascendant and moon sign. Moon sign shows what will happen, the prarabdha karma. What are you going to be dealing with regardless of where you run and hide? From the ascendant shows your action towards things, because it's your free will, then it's your actions that are taking place. Okay. So thank you very much. I will see you in 15 days, I promise.